let's get straight into it. Greasing. What is it? What is it? What exactly does this mean in BJJ? So after last weekend's tournament with on Flow Grappling, who's number one, Penna versus Nicky Rod, Penna said that Nicky Rod was quite greasy. So it's interesting because that is illegal in Jiu-Jitsu and in most wrestling sports. So what is greasing? So greasing is essentially greased. So there's a lot more lubricant. It's a lot harder to pin. It's a lot harder to gain motions like hands, elbows. It's a lot harder to do movements and control your opponent. So it makes it much more slippery for your opponent, but for you, not as bad. And it makes it a lot more, I guess, easier for yourself. But this is considered cheating in IFBJJ. We're not going to get into the whole PED use in Jiu-Jitsu at this point, but if anyone wants me to elaborate on that, we can in another video. But it is illegal and it is a form of cheating. So how does it work? So there's one example of this actually happening. So the first instance of this happening was Lopez versus Miao, at the 2016 IFBJJ Nogi Championships, where Lopez used moisturizer in the morning and was banned for cheating. So he openly said it in a post later down the track. So a few hours before or in the morning of, he put moisturizer on, and then as the match went on, it became slippery, and Miano, sorry, I'm butchering that name, struggled to keep the position and struggled to keep the hands. So what does this mean? This kind of leads us on to how greasing works. So with the way greasing works is about an hour or two before your match, you lather yourself up, whether this be with cream, sorbeline, coconut cream, whatever, or baby oil, which is typically used. So you pop it in, you wipe all the extra off, and it sinks into your pores. And then what you do is you do a light warm-up, so you don't sweat, and then when you sweat in the match, the oil and the residual byproducts, which makes that grease, comes out, and it makes it much trickier for your opponent to hold you down. And another way I didn't know about was the way Gordon Ryan mentioned. So
they'll take like a bucket or a tub the night before the match, and they'll lay backwards, and they'll put their hair in the tub, so only the top of their head and their hair and their scalp get wet with usually baby oil if they're going to do that on their hair, and they'll let the baby oil soak for a certain amount of time into their head, and they'll go to sleep and they'll have it dry into their scalp. The next day when they go to warm up, they'll wear a hat or a beanie or a hoodie, so that when they sweat, the initial grease just sweats and it runs into the hat, so then your body's dry. So then your body has no grease on it. Then the second you start sweating, the baby oil runs from the hair down onto the face, and then it rubs into the whole body.
And the second greasing way I didn't know about, but I learned from Gordon Ryan, was pop your hair into baby oil, which was interesting, and you scalp and then you wipe it off. But how to combat it? So usually what they were saying, and what Gordon said, and what a few others and the research I was doing, you got to wear spats and you got to wear long sleeve rashes. That would be the first way to kind of combat it. Second way is, I think disqualification is not going to happen because Jiu-Jitsu is such a young sport and it's getting brought out into the media a lot more. It's on UFC as well now on Fight Pass, so it's getting bigger and bigger. So I think the easiest way would be a 2-strike policy. So first strike is 60 to 75% of the pay is cut and given to your opponent. So if it's a big name versus a small name, doesn't matter who, and the small person cheats, and vice versa, so the money will go to them, and yes, they'll get a financial reward out of it because then the result will stand. However, you can do it as a 2-tier policy, as in second strike and you're out. So if they do it again, it's not only a financial slap and your opponent gets the money again, but they're banned from the organization. So that will be a deterrent for them to do the cheating way again. Comment down below what you think about that, or whether there would be any other ways you think would be a good way to combat cheating in, especially the greasing in Jiu-Jitsu. Like, subscribe, don't forget to stay beautiful, look after yourselves, and we'll catch everyone in the next video. Peace.